Hello, today I want to talk about the VIX, which is otherwise known as the fear index. Now, if you go online, you can find some formulas for VIX, and they're not the same. You could see these three, you could see this one, you could see this one, you could see this one. But the point is, we don't really need to calculate this ourselves. It's calculated for us constantly. We could put it in an Excel spreadsheet if we wanted to. Let's not focus on the exact calculation. Let's just focus on what it is and how we might use it as an investor. Now, VIX has everything to do with options. If you want to see some videos on options, I have several of those, and you can follow these links to see those videos. Now, why does it have to do with options? Well, it has to do with the pricing variable. So if you got the spot price, price of the asset, strike price, time to maturity, volatility, interest rates. And in this case for VIX, it has everything to do with volatility. We are trying to, given the price, determine what the implied volatility is of an option, but not just any option. It has to be an option on the S&P 500, and it can't just be any option on the S&P 500. It's very specific. So we're looking at near-term contracts and next-term contracts for both calls and puts, and that near-term, next-term window is options that expire between 23 days and 37 days. So it's kind of a week on either side of 30, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the implied volatility of a 30-day option for the S&P 500. We use calls and puts, as I said. We use out-of-the-money options. We use at-the-money options, but we do not use in-the-money options. And there are some rules regarding a bid. You don't want to use options that have a zero bid on them. You want to make sure that these are actively traded options so that we have accurate pricing on those options and not some mismatch between because of their being so far out of the money or whatever that might be. Okay, those are the ones we're going to use. Also, in terms of the time to maturity, very accurate there. We use up to the minute information there. The rate is going to be the rate based on when that option expires. So if it's a 23-day option versus a 37-day option, the interests are going to be different. And then in terms of this basket is kind of aggregated together. So we get an average of 30 days. We're also going to weight the options depending on if they're out of the money or at the money. In fact, the at the money options are the ones that are going to get the heavier weights versus the ones that are far out of the money. And as I said, this is called the fear index. And this is an applied volatility. So the higher that is, the greater investors are expecting volatility to be. It's kind of a gauge of risk, great gauge of fear, etc. Now, in a subsequent video, I will talk some more about VIX, how you might trade it, how you might think about that. But again, here it's just an applied volatility that gives us some sense of what the market is thinking about the future, how fearful we are of it. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm Brian Kozlowski.